Hi y'all, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today I am here to show you how to sew this faux leather wallet. On the inside of this there are 3 pockets for your cards, and then there are a variety of ways that you can use this right hand side, which just essentially has slits cut in it. Initially I had my cards in there, but then I realized the more that I use this, the more stretch and room was going to be created there. So it occurred to me that it is awesome for the to-do list and receipts. So I'm very pleased with that. This is a super simple project that comes together so fast and relatively inexpensive as well. It's crafted using this wide faux leather ribbon, they call it. I got this at Hobby Lobby, half off, so it was $2.50. The only other thing that you'll need for this is the snap closure, which doesn't cost very much money at all. One roll of this is exactly enough to make this wallet. So shall we get started? So for this, you're going to need the one roll of faux leather ribbon, and then all of the measurements are cut to the width of the ribbon as it exists. So you're going to cut off first 2 pieces that are 9 inches across, and this ribbon is approximately 8 inches tall. Mine is measuring 8.25. On the package it says 8 inches. Nonetheless, 2 pieces, 9 inches across, and that will fashion the interior and the exterior of the wallet. Then you're going to cut one piece that's 4 inches across by the same 8 roughly inches wide, and that will fashion the left hand side here, which is the receipt keeper. And then you'll have a small strip left, and just cut off 2 2-inch strips by approximately 2 1/4 inch. It's whatever remains. You just want it 2 inches wide, and that will be used to craft the flap, and then you're going to have a snap closure on that. So to construct this, the first step is to cut a center pocket on the interior piece. So I like to use an X-Acto knife, works well for that. And then you're going to measure in 4.5 inches and come down from the top edge there approximately 1/2 inch. And then you can see I've cut that, but I still have 1/2 inch at the top and the bottom of that. Now I want to put this on the machine and just stitch around that to reinforce. And then you can see I have that accent stitching on there, which will also add stability to that pocket. Now I want to bring over the small pocket and position card slits or receipt slits, however you want to use it. I think it's awesome for the to-do list again, and your tickets, anything like that that you just want to keep really handy in your wallet. And it's the same thing. You're going to cut 1/4 inch from each side with your X-Acto knife, and you can put as many rows as you like. I'm going to skip down about every 2 inches and then bring back over the interior and position this pocket off to the left edge there. If you have clips, you can clip this. I don't suggest that you pin it. Then you're going to stitch this in place all the way around the pocket there. So now you have your little receipt holders in place and the slit in the center, and you want to bring back over the exterior, turn that face down, and then position the interior on top of that. We're going to slide that aside for a moment while we craft the tab, and for this you just position the two pieces of faux leather wrong sides facing and then stitch all the way around that. And then because this particular material will shift some as you're sewing it, what I like to do is come back in and using my ruler and my rotary cutter, just trim that up to like a scant 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And then it looks like you stitched and cut perfectly. Okay, so before we tuck in the tab, we want to install the snap. And I just install mine with a small hammer. And for that I have the decorative portion on the outside of the flap, and then the female and the male portion, and I'm going to double up on the decorative heads because it offers more stability, and I'm going to save this remaining prong for the end. So now I want to center this off of the right hand side of the wallet there with the interior of the snap facing up. Make sure all of my parts are aligned there. And then using a few binder clips, I'm just going to hold everything in place. Then I'm going to put this piece up on the machine deck, and I'm going to stitch all the way around to secure all the layers. When I get to this left hand side, I'm going to do my best to stitch right on top of that existing stitching, and then I'm going to come back in and divide this right hand pocket into thirds. And so the easiest way to do that is to take a card and position that right at the center with that flap, and then stitch 3/8 to 5/8 of an inch on either side of that, and that will ensure that these pockets are deep enough to hold multiple cards. I made it all the way around. I'm going to use the same little cheater technique there and trim up those edges so it looks like I cut and stitched perfectly. Okay, so on this side I still have that one big undivided pocket, and as well as on the opposite side, and then I have these receipt slips. So now I'm going to center that card on that pocket, and my tab here shifted a little bit up, which is fine. So I just want to make sure that I get the card centered here so my pockets are a similar width. I'm going to put that up on the machine deck and stitch to divide that pocket in thirds. So now I have my card pockets in place there. And I have my receipt pockets in place. I have a wider pocket there for a small journal or cash. The last thing that I need to do is just install that snap, and so the easiest way to do that is to close up the wallet and then take the remaining prong and poke that face down into that faux leather, and it'll create some little holes there. So then you can come inside of that pocket and turn this around here and position that snap so that you can poke those prongs through the front. And once you get it in place, then it's easier to poke those prongs through. And then you just close that back up and double check that that is aligned nice and it doesn't twist the wallet or anything like that. And once you're sure that that snap is resting on those prongs, then go ahead and hammer that in place. And then the wallet is done. Easy peasy, right? So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the project. It was an absolute pleasure to sew with you. I want to say thank you for spending this time with me. I think these would make wonderful Mother's Day gifts for the special moms in your life. And I would love to see photos of your finished wallets. I'll put some links down in the notes for you to our social media sites as well as the closed Facebook group. So I will be back soon with another inspired project. Until then, as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful week, everyone.